Well, Anthony, thank you so much for joining Horror Queen Film Interviews. My name is Miss Taint. I'm San Antonio's Horror Queen, and this is.
I'm Say Livy. Nice.
Nice to meet you.
I love that movie. It was really good. Frogman. And I like that it's very there's something like kind of funny about it at the same time that it's still like scary, you know what I mean?
I've been seeing little things on X about it for like a couple of months now, and then you see like the little stills, and it's just like, okay, what exactly is this film about, and why does it catch my interest so much?
People keep saying that my Frogman footage is fake, and I'm gonna get proof that the Frogman exists.
Morning, sunshine!
We're in! Let's do this then.
Do you have something to say about Frogman?
Frogman, that's what put Loveland on the map.
So are you a Frogman fan?
That what brings you folks to town?
We're actually making a documentary.
Is he an ancient god? Or is he an ancient alien, maybe? Or is he a big frog trying to get his rocks off?
So, Dallas, do you have anything to say about what you're really trying to accomplish here?
I want the world to know the truth
Okay.
about Frogman.
All right, film in the woods. What the fuck was that?
I saw Frogman as a kid, and what I saw was a real thing.
I think it's time for you folks to head on home.
But I know what I saw that day. And I'm gonna get irrefutable proof. The Frogman exists.
Are you getting all this?
Whoa.
That's the slime from the tree. He was here.
Why the wand?
Why the wand? Well, that's a real part of the legend. So this is a creature that may or may not actually exist in Loveland, Ohio. That's like their Bigfoot or their Loch Ness monster. And he has been seen with a wand.
Okay, so it is based on like a real like cryptid type. Okay, I was that was part of the whole thing where like, did he make this up? I guess it's real.
The funny thing is, we shot almost the entire movie without the wand. We weren't going to include the wand and try to play it more like, well, what if he really existed? Like, what are all these legends like really based on? And then it was like, this is so wrong. Like, let's just go crazy. Like, this movie's already crazy enough.
Yeah.
Like, he should absolutely have the wand. It's the best part of that legend. Like, no other cryptid comes with an accessory.
Yeah, he needed a magic stick for sure.
Yeah.
So Frogman fucks, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so tell us, top or bottom or hung? And I'm talking about Frogman, not you.
I think he's really versatile. I think he
We
goes
love
for it all. We considered actually like maybe actually seeing him fucking in the caves, and
Oh shit, that would have been
we
everything.
couldn't figure it out. But now that it's such a phenomenon, maybe in the sequel we'll actually see him going at it with somebody. But
I would love that's I was really curious. I was like, how is this gonna happen? How is he gonna, I was
Fuck. No, because when we were watching it in the dark, we had like the volume like full blast, and we had the lights off, and we're just watching this. We're watching completely sober, by the way, and we're just like, and then when we heard Frogman fucks, Sayla's like, Frogman fucks, and I was like, well, that's interesting.
I figure if we can't figure out a way to actually see that happening in one of these future sequels, like we could just make our own porn parody, before someone else beats us to it.
I'm so here for that. We have a running joke in our house because we're part of a drag house. There's like maybe like 10 of us or so. And there's like a long running joke. I don't know who even brought it up, but it was like spider porn where this chick is like this giant spider and they're fucking like
it was everything.
Yeah.
I would live
We're
for
fans.
a frog version.
Yeah.
Would live for that.
There's such a wild like I don't know, sub like fandom of just like monster porn and monster like fetish and especially cryptids. There's so much like fan porn or erotica or whatever of like Mothman and Bigfoot. So yeah, it's about time, Frogman. Actually, are you guys aware of Chuck Tingle,
No.
the author? Oh man, look into Chuck Tingle. He does a crazy line of like really like super short erotica stories, and most of them involve monsters. And he did do one with Frogman.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay, so just to get the facts straight, Frogman is based where?
Loveland, Ohio.
Ohio. Okay, so is that where you shot this film at?
No, we shot in Minneapolis actually. That's where I'm based. Yeah.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yep.
Mhm. Okay, cute.
Sayla knows geography. I don't. So you said that basically you were trying to figure out if you could get this sex scene with the frogman. Is there anything else that you would have liked to include in this version that you got to film that I guess
that you like wanted to include but didn't?
Yeah. There was a few things. The big thing was like if anyone knows like H.P. Lovecraft and the Shadow over Innsmouth, that story, like we definitely took big influence from that of like this small town that's mating with a creature, and you know like the people in the town are like his children or whatever, or like this like kind of interspecies product. And we tried to go bigger with that. Like we tried to make it feel like the whole town was in on it, and we like shot some scenes, but we only ever had like, you know, 12 extras at most. And like at least within the found footage like structure, we just couldn't like it didn't feel right. Like it didn't feel like it was as big as it should be. So we kind of dropped that and we're like, well, it's like more of an underground cult. It's a few people in town.
Right.
Um, and then I really wanted to see Frogman like hopping around during the chase scene in the woods. I wanted to see him like hop towards camera and then like up into the trees and be like going tree to tree.
that would have been fucking gnarly.
Right? But we just couldn't. I mean, obviously we couldn't do that practically. So we tried it through VFX and it just felt really like with everything else being so raw and practical, it felt really fake. So
Yeah.
we ended up cutting that too. But you know,
We was
maybe
screaming. Everything that you used, it worked because we was screiming.
I was
oh
screaming.
good.
When we first saw the frogman, I screamed. I was like, "Shut
I took
it was
inspiration from ET, because you know I had seen ET again recently in the theater before we went and shot that scene.
it's a scary
And it's scary, like especially the opening when he's like running around the woods and you're just getting glimpses of him, and it's really just this puppet just like going in like a straight line, like clearly practical. And I thought back to like when Spielberg retouched it with VFX and like ET was hopping around like crazy and it looked so silly, and he realized it was a mistake and like wiped that version from existence. I was like, why are we trying to go VFX? Like, let's just put Frogman in a tree, we'll spin and see him for a sec and then spin away.
And it adds to the scariness of it when it's like that, you know.
I just think when things are in trees in general, it's like really frightening. We have like we're based in Texas, San Antonio, so we have like the legend of La Lechuza and like, you know, the witch owls and just things that are in the trees. Right now we're currently in the beginning process of shooting our own film. We want to do a legend of the donkey lady. But
Whoa.
are you familiar with the donkey lady?
No, I've never heard of that.
Okay, so the Donkey Lady, we have our own Donkey Lady bridge. Okay,
The
so
story confuses me personally. I'm like,
there's many different tales, but basically something about how she gets caught on fire in her little like cottage, and she has a donkey. But the donkey and her, when they're caught on fire, they end up merging together, and then
Whoa.
so like her spirit's there at this Donkey Lady bridge. So I'm like in the drawing board right now of trying to put together this really fucked up movie about being possessed by the donkey lady.
Oh my God, I love that. I would watch that.
With drag queens in there that get horrible ending, deaths and so on.
That's such a cool origin story for a creature.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to somebody like us who's just starting our own like little our own, beginning movie?
Yeah. I think the biggest advice I could give is just make the movie that you would want to watch yourselves. Like don't make a movie for anybody else but you. And like it's worth taking into consideration, like, like would anybody care about this? Like I worried about that with Frogman at times. Like I'm the only one that's gonna give a shit that this exists, but like nobody was asking for a Frogman movie. Like I wanted to see a Frogman movie, and that's why I made the movie I wanted to see, and ironically I can't enjoy it because I'm too close to it. But that's the biggest advice I'd give, because like I don't think anything I've done up until this point has been like really impressive, like in any specific like department or like category of film, like everything I think is a little rough around the edges. But the one thing that I can attest to, like the little bit of success I've had, is I've just always made movies for myself. Like the
Yeah.
movies I would want to see that don't exist yet. And like you want to make a Donkey Lady movie, immediately you say that, I want to see a Donkey Lady movie. So you're already off to the right start. Like just make the movie that you want to see and just like go nuts, like swing for the fences and go crazy.
I
So
love that. Thanks for that
thank
advice.
you. Yeah, that is some really good advice. I wanted to know, it just popped into my mind. So you said wanted to see a movie about Frogman. When did you first hear about the Frogman? Like, how did you first hear about it?
It was in like 2018. I was on set for a short film that my co-writer was directing and I was shooting, and it took place in like a coast to coast radio station, if you know that old radio show.
I love
Um,
the show, yeah. Coast to
yeah.
Coast.
So we're going for that kind of vibe. So there was, like an I want to believe poster on the wall and like stuff like that. And he found a poster that was like the US, but in each state was a cryptid from that state. And then so I was kind of studying it between scenes, and in Ohio was the Frogman with his little wand. And I was just like, what in the hell is this guy all about? So that's how I first heard of him. And like we've always wanted to do a found footage movie. Our lead actor Nate, he was in that short too, and like he's just like such a blast to work with, and we write a lot of stuff just for him to act in. And we've always wanted to do something kind of like big and like a feature with him to like star in. So it just kind of all came together.
So how difficult was it to get, like, I know like in Frogman you had like gift shops and like people running around with like Frogman stuff. Like did you get all that stuff? Did you make all of that stuff, since like you were in a whole nother city?
Yeah, there was, and the funny thing is, like, Loveland doesn't really embrace Frogman at all, like they
Wow.
do in the movie. Like they're coming around now because this guy on his own accord started a Frogman festival, like a 1 day kind of celebration of Frogman, because the city wants nothing to do with it. And it was a huge hit. Like 1,000 people showed up. Like they just had the second Frogman Fest like this March, and we got to go there and show the movie, which was super cool.
Oh, I
But
love
like
that.
now the city is like, oh, maybe there's money to be made off of this. Maybe we should embrace Frogman. But they, at the time that we made the movie, they didn't. So we made all that up. And my production designer, Jason, he made a ton of that gift shop stuff on like Redbubble or whatever. He designed it himself and then like mass printed a few shirts and mugs and stuff. And then a ton of just like frog shit off of Amazon. Like the hats, the like the bucket hats and stuff like that.
That's so interesting because as we were watching it, we were like, does this place really exist? Like we had so many questions regarding like, is this real? Is this a real urban legend? Do they really have gift shops there? And so it's so like mind-boggling that like none of that was based
Yeah.
in the actual town.
Yeah, because like here in San Antonio, you can always find some like little spooky little tchotchke thing somewhere, There's so many, but I mean Texas is so full of like spirits, and
Yeah.
there's so many legends and stuff like that. So I was like, wow, that's so cool. They have a whole store just dedicated to only the Frogman, and they
Yeah.
stayed in business this whole
That
time.
part, yeah.
I mean, so many small towns really do that, like Point Pleasant with Mothman, and
Mm.
like it's like it really is a thing when they like decide to embrace the creatures. And it's like kind of a crazy like life imitates art thing maybe going on now, because we kind of joked like, well, maybe once this movie comes out, Loveland will come around, like in a joking way, thinking, only a handful of people would see this movie. And it seems like maybe that's really happening. Like they are kind of realizing, yeah,
Uh-huh.
maybe we should have a Frogman gift
They're
shop.
gonna start having Frogman cults and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
All because of you.
Maybe that's why they haven't like embraced it so far, is they're really hiding a true cult.
I'm here for this. We need to go figure some shit out, right?
Okay, we'll go visit.
Yeah, we've been like having all these crazy ideas of going like around Texas and doing like ghost hunting and in drag and recording it and putting it on YouTube channels and shit like that.
Oh my God.
I take a lot of pride in being San Antonio's undead urban legend. I've been doing drag here for like 10 years, and like I'm like self-proclaimed urban legend here. And it's crazy because we do like best of San Antonio every year. So
Uh-huh.
I've gotten like best drag queen, like I've placed before in this like local popularity contest, whatever. But this year is the first year that I'm actually running for best urban legend here in town. So
Oh,
I'm like
cool.
I'm fighting the La Llorona, the Donkey Lady, the Children Railroad Tracks, and so on.
Oh, the railroad tracks. That's
We'll
one of
see
the
if I
most
come out
famous
on top on that one.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, I'm rooting for you. I would definitely, I think that's a brilliant idea for a show, is like in drag, like ghost hunting or like visiting paranormal places.
The amount of shit that can go wrong is endless.
I love that.
like
And I love the crossover of like drag culture and horror, which seems to like be really strong, and is like finally like coming into the spotlight too. So that's perfect.
oh yeah.
Are you familiar with drag? Like, have you ever done it before, or do you go to drag shows?
I've never done it before. I've been to a decent amount of drag shows though, and then yeah, of course I'm watching Dragula, which I think is amazing.
I
Yeah.
love it. I've auditioned like 4 or 5 times already.
That's
We'll see
awesome.
if it happens. I like a lot of their challenges and shit.
But are you straight? You would consider yourself like a straight person? Okay.
Yeah.
You have like a girlfriend, or you're married?
Yeah, I have a partner, and she was well, she's the girl in the movie who calls into question how Dallas knows that Frogman is a man. That's my partner. And then she also produced on the movie.
Love it, Sayla. So he's not single.
Oh man. This one?
Mhm. How has the reception been from the community? I guess like both general community and horror community towards your film. Like when did you first like premiere it? What festival was it at? And what was the general reception? And how has it blown up since?
We premiered in Miami at Popcorn Frights Film Festival, which is like a horror festival. That was in September of last year, I think, of 2024. And we've played a bunch of festivals since then and had screenings, and it's been like amazingly positive, which honestly like really surprised me. I mean, I've been with this project for like 3.5 years at this point, and like it just, I'm totally demystified from it. I know it inside and out. I've seen it a million times. So you're just like, you really can't even comprehend how someone seeing it for the first time might feel about it. And so it's been like such a relief that people really like it. And of course, like found footage isn't for everybody. A lot of people rag on it for being a Blair Witch clone. And it's like, well, of course, like, I mean, anyone that makes a found footage movie is inspired by the Blair Witch,
Yeah, it's a
you know.
movement.
Um, so, but mostly, like by and large, it's been really positive, and like it's been finding its fans and getting a lot of love, and people are excited that we're trying to continue the story with another movie and stuff. So
So
that's
there
been
is
really,
gonna be the sequel.
we're writing it right now. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that was actually one of our questions. If you
Yeah.
had future projects that you were working on, that's cool. I would love to see like a follow-up of that story.
Sayla was asking at the end of it, like when the credits were rolling and everything, they were like, I wonder if they're gonna make a part two. And I'm like, I don't think so, Sayla. Like this, it looks like it just cuts off like right there. But then, you never know.
I would love to see like
The frog, for God's sake, has a wand, so anything could happen at this point.
Yeah. We definitely didn't plan on making a second one. We had like that was not in our minds whatsoever, but since then we've kind of come up with ideas. I think like once you like finally put the first movie to rest, like then all of a sudden you're freed up to start thinking about like, oh well yeah, where would Dallas go from here? Now he's got the wand, Amy's totally traumatized, Frogman's still out there. So yeah, we're pretty excited about what we've come up with.
I'm excited. Was there something like that didn't go as planned? Like, what was the most challenging thing that you came across while filming?
I mean, found footage in general like brought so many challenges that I was not prepared for because I've been doing this for like over 10 years, but I've never done found footage. And it was almost like starting over with like a whole new set of rules, like you got to justify why the camera's rolling. You got to figure out where you come into a scene and how you get out of it, and you don't have any like coverage to edit with. So that was super challenging. And then also the authenticity that you need when it comes to found footage. Like when you're making a movie the traditional way, you can kind of toe that line with like drama. You can get kind of theatrical with it and it's fun and it works most of the time. And with found footage, like you start to lose that authenticity if you go too big with the drama. And obviously in Frogman, like once the frog shows up, we kind of drop the reality and just like go nuts and just like lean into it. But at least up until that point, we were trying to like keep alive the air of believability. Uh, and that was really tough. Like some stuff we shot like 3 times over because it just felt too scripted or staged.
In my opinion, I feel like it worked. It was very believable, and then like once the Frogman comes into play and he starts hopping all over the car and shit, like I was just like, this is going completely left, and I am so here for this.
Oh, good. I'm glad it works.
But that's interesting that you say that like there are challenges within actual like not like geographical challenges, but like more so like filmmaking challenges
Right.
where you need to keep consistency and believability. Is that a word?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. No, it is now. Okay. So do you have any like what I guess like more so like what are your top 3 films that directly inspired you to start doing found footage?
Oh, to do found footage specifically? I mean the Blair Witch, obviously. Um, Bobcat Goldthwait's found footage movie Willow Creek was a huge inspiration. Um, it's like really bare bones. And it's just like a couple going on vacation to like Willow Creek to like try and find Bigfoot. That was a big inspiration. Another one was Adam Green's Digging Up the Marrow because I really appreciated like how he actually showed the creatures, which doesn't happen a whole lot in found footage. And we knew like we wanted to see Frogman, we wanted to see, a tadpole baby and like all sorts of crazy shit. And so we looked at that movie as inspiration of like, what is found like how do you shoot practical effects with found footage? Because practical effects like are so specific to like, okay, like what's the lighting that we're shooting in and like what's the angle? Like you can only sell it from one direction usually, because there's wires going to it or someone's puppeteering it or whatever. And with found footage, it was like the camera's got to be kind of free and flowing and, like wide and then it goes super tight. So like yeah, that was an interesting challenge too of like not being in total control of like knowing how we were going to see the effects and like how much of the effects we were going to see. So we kind of planned every effect that we had in the movie we planned to see from like head to toe from a wide shot because we might. And we pretty much did every time.
Because if it works in a wide shot, then it'll work if you can zoom. Then you'll be able to zoom in on it. That makes sense.
Exactly.
That's a good tip.
I appreciated that we actually saw this Frogman too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I loved being able to get like that creepy but like weird factor all at the same time.
Yeah, like we finally saw it. Like it's not in hiding or you don't just get glimpses of it. It's like actually full on like
Right.
living and breathing.
Yeah.
and ready to get your ass.
Did you have a film that like just inspired you in general to start making films or to start like to write or anything like that?
To start making films, I feel like like when I was 13, 14, I saw Clerks, The Evil Dead, and
Mm.
Donnie Darko, and those were like the three movies, and probably Requiem for a Dream was around that time too. And I feel like Donnie Darko and Requiem for a Dream like really inspired me when it came to like filmmaking.
Yeah.
And Clerks and Evil Dead were the two movies that made me realize like, oh, you don't like not all movies have to be made by Hollywood. And like you can make a movie for nothing. And like you watch those two movies and not knowing a whole lot about the filmmaking process, you can just feel that this was made by a group of friends. You know what I mean? And
Oh
so like
yeah.
I'm really inspired. Like I think that was the first time I ever considered like, oh, maybe I could do this.
That's really cool. And I think I mean it's such a it really I could see like there being a cult following of this movie.
I appreciate that.
Did the final product meet your expectations? Like, are you like in terms of percentage? I know it's kind of like cliche to ask, but like, how complete did you feel with your final product?
Man,
That's
that's
a
an interesting question that I haven't been asked yet. Um, to be completely honest, I am not satisfied with this movie.
Really?
And it does not meet my expectations, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think,
Yeah.
if you look at something you've made, or at least like I don't create any other type of art. So like I'll just say like if I make a movie and I look at it, I'm like, nailed it, you know, like no improvements to be made there, like then I'm probably a hack and I'm probably not going to make anything better than that thing. So it doesn't bother me that I'm like not satisfied with Frogman, but like what's really rewarding is the fact that like all the flaws that I see and all the imperfections that I wish like we would have fixed and like things that went wrong that I look at like nobody else sees. And of course there's people out there that don't like the movie, but the people that love the movie just like really love it and they're like, "Nah, you made a great movie. You nailed it." And so like that's what really matters. Like that gives me the ability to just like let go of however I feel about this movie.
yeah.
Like he like made a movie with the aim to entertain people and like show them something new and we succeeded there. So like all the failures that I see don't really matter. And we'll just improve in the sequel.
I think, yeah, exactly. In the sequel, and I feel like as an artist, you're always wanting to improve. Like when you create something at one time in your life, you look back on it and you're like, "Oh, I could have did this or I could have did that." But when the people that are not you look at it, they're like, "This is amazing!" Like they could never create anything like that. So it's they're loving it. They will love it. But you, as the creator, as the artist, you always, I mean, I know I do, I feel that way. I'm like, oh, I could have did this and made it a little bit better, or I could have.
Yeah, that's definitely relatable, especially as a performance artist. It's kind of just like you kind of know it's different when you see everything played back. Like
Yeah.
you'll be like, "Oh, I gave my all during that performance and I fucking killed it." And then you see it played back and you're like, "Well, my wig slipped off a little bit." And only I knew it.
Right.
And this
Yeah.
one knew it too, but but it's definitely as an artist, I really do resonate with that as well. Like you're kind of your own worst critic, and only you know what mistakes you made because you just have that eye for what you create. So
But I,
Exactly. And like I kind of learned to just let go of that early on because like I mean unless you're James Cameron and you're making Avatar and you're like like literally getting exactly what is like inside your head out verbatim. Like he's maybe the only person that's capable of doing that. And even then, I bet he would tell you like there is so much of that movie that I did not expect to go the way it did because you're still bringing in different collaborators and you're bringing in actors. And like that's the thing with filmmaking that's like so fucking beautiful as an art form is like you can have a singular vision in your head, but once you bring in everybody else to be a part of it and you start shooting it, it has a life of its own and it becomes something totally new. And like, if you could do it all yourself, you would, and you can't. And that's why you're bringing in these other people. So you got to embrace the characteristics that they bring to your project, you know, and it undeniably, like everything I've ever done becomes something very different than what I set out to make. So I've just like kind of learned to be okay with that and appreciate it.
I kind of live for that advice, honestly. Thanks for sharing that too, because definitely like with this Donkey Lady film that we're kind of in the talks about, there's going to be a lot of different characters. So it's just, you know, you have to work with a lot of different people in this, and it's just, it could go many of which ways.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's the fun part of it all. And I will say that Avatar don't have shit on Frogman. Well, thank you so much. Do you have anything else to ask before we're done?
No, I think we got to ask all the questions.
Mhm.
Yeah, I live. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah, we
you.
appreciate you, and we are definitely looking forward to Frogman Part 2. Do you have an official title name for it, or is it just going to be Frogman 2?
We're throwing some ideas around. We're not sure yet.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Well, we're definitely going to be on the lookout for it, and we will continue to spread the word of Frogman and get our loyal followers to watch it.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great night. Thank
See
you.
you later.
Bye.